queen on the throne. In the great big boulevard, the place she belongs. It's just another story she tells. Have you ever felt you're missing the dream? Have you ever wished your life was like the movie on the screen? Filled with heartbreaks and fights through Hollywood nights. Through Hollywood nights. Through Hollywood nights. You always looked after me, brother, when we were children. You always had my back. You took all the blame when our father caught us doing things that drove him mad. Through the years I could lean on you when I messed up. I'd call you in the night, but I broke too many promises and we split up. Though I still need ya, you gotta save me now. I'm slipping so far down, it's only you I trust to set me free from this. I don't know how I got into this awful spot. I don't know where it ends, so I can use your helping hand tonight. I wanna say that I'm sorry, I got sidetracked and I left you in the cold. I've seen your side of the story, I felt the drawback. My mistake took its toll. Finally, I have realized I was dead wrong. I wasn't thinking straight. No more lies, and from here on out I'll be better, 'cause I still need ya. You gotta save me now. I'm slipping so far down, it's only you I trust to set me free from this. I don't know how I got into this awful spot. I don't know where it ends, so I could use your helping hand tonight. I could use your helping hand tonight. I could use your helping hand tonight.
From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. Hey yo, heart of a villain beats hard in the centrifuge. Bearded BP, 100 interviews. All it takes is 2 mics and 1 line. This is Bearded Villains podcast worldwide. Driving cross countries, getting ball tires. Fam across ponds, always inspired. Chapters connect and then it's on fire. Check Taking photos, BV is like a live wire. They said that we couldn't do it and that another could. Never underestimate the power of brotherhood. Every bro, every chapter, every caption. Heart of a villain, bro. Lights, camera, action. Action, action, action. Let's go. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain. It's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain. It's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain. It's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Hello. Look at this. Hey, this thing's going to eventually kick on. There it is. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 103 of The Heart of a Villain, the podcast and live stream devoted to the bearded villains worldwide brotherhood and the lives they are changing all around the world. Big deep breath now. It is Thursday. It is our first official Thursday night live, kicking off now around episode 103. It took us a few weeks to get back to our new home base after episode 100, but we are here 8 p.m. Central Time, Thursday nights. I hope everybody can take some time out on a Thursday night. This way you can have your Friday nights back. You can go out. You can do your stuff and not feel the least bit guilty for not being here on a Friday night. What else were you going to do on a Thursday night anyway? Occasionally, there might be a good football game on. But other than that, right? Just for an hour, come hang out. It seems to make sense. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being here on this Thursday night. I'm excited just to be back. It feels good. On the normal circumstances. I've already seen some questions, so I'll just dive right into it right now. Episode 102 is going to become known as kind of the mystery episode, the episode where you all say, where is it? Well, episode 102 is already out in podcast platform. It's out there. You can listen to it. You can't find it. You can't find it on YouTube because it's not there. The reason being is that it was so difficult to record after the fact all the little snippets that I did over the course of the weekend, the interview I had with the representative of Operation Welcome Home, and then in addition to the other stuff that I wanted to cover after the fact, it just didn't seem to make sense for me to actually do a live stream within like 48 hours of this one. So I didn't want to freak everybody out with me suddenly going live 36 hours ago and to thinking, what's he doing now? So all I did was I sat down here in the studio and I just recorded it myself, old school way. And it felt kind of fun because I kind of got back to the roots of the show, right? Just me. But I did it as I were doing a normal live stream. I didn't go back and do all that crazy editing I once did. So there's still all the random ahs and uhs and all that junk in there. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's at one time I say something and I mentioned something about playing with me or something. But in any event, go back and listen to it in any podcast platform that you normally would listen to. If you're curious about where that's at theheartofavillain.simplecast.com or any major podcast platform where you would normally get that. But yeah, so that's the big mystery. I didn't actually do it. I didn't actually do the live stream for it. So those of you who are looking out for that, I do apologize. If this is your first time here, right there, don't forget to subscribe to this thing. We're cruising along, episode 103, having a good time. This is kind of a busy time for us right now because we're going to be floating in and out with lots of different episodes of importance pertaining to specific events coming up. And we've got a bunch of them. And we've actually got more and more rolling in. Now that people are starting to feel confident and better about themselves as far as businesses staying open and different things with the restrictions that might still be in place, we're starting to see chapters get things together again. and events. And even out into 2022, we have some events scheduled. So we'll get into all that stuff as time goes on. But again, thank you guys so much for being here. I want to say a big shout out to everybody who is here live on the live stream on a Thursday night. I almost said Friday, right? Rob. It was Friday, now it's Thursday, but it's Friday for him now technically anyway. So maybe it's the same but different. I don't know. But Rob, thanks so much for being here over across the pond. It's early morning hours over there for him. Jacob is in the house. XJD, more X. That's all I got to say on that one. You have to spell out exactly who that is because I can't make it out based on what I see there. Mr. George in the house. Andy, how you doing? The Bearded Irishman is here as well. Mr. Lambert. K-Mac. You see, I just every time I see that, I just see ENC. That's all I see. I see the last three letters, and I say ENC's in the house. Good to see you here as well. The Reverend Nick is in the house as well. Good to see you. Good to see you. Nick, sorry if you missed that episode 102. That was a sneaky thing I did there. Sorry. Rob, no, I did not know that we were supposed to do jazz hands. I can do jazz hands if that's what you really want to see, but no. No. So, guys, thanks so much for being here. This is going to be an interesting one because we're going to talk a little bit about the coming up in just a few minutes. I'm going to have my interview that I had with a Mr. Miller. What he normally goes by. He's the captain of the Missouri Valley chapter, and not this weekend, but next weekend. So the timing of this couldn't be better because if you're bored for next weekend, if you don't have anything to do next weekend, if you're still trying to figure out something to do, St. Louis is pretty much centrally located, a few hours drive for everybody. So let's get to St. Louis and really help the guys out in St. Louis, the Missouri Valley chapter, for their competition that they've got coming up this week. A week from this Saturday. But we'll get into that in just a few minutes. But that's going to be the crux of the show today. We're going to be talking to him about that, about the organization that they're raising money for. Such a cool thing. Seems like I say that a lot, but kudos to all of our chapters out there because you guys are finding, and I mentioned this in the interview a little later, you guys are finding some really cool chapters, some really cool organizations for your chapters to partner with. I feel like I'm flailing my arms a lot today so far. Maybe I am. But you guys are finding a lot of really neat organizations to partner with for your charity endeavors so far this year that I've seen. And as I mentioned later, I think one of the coolest things about it is that it's not always the big things. It's not the big organizations. It's some of these small ones who are dependent on small amounts of money, seemingly small amounts of money, to do great big things with. So again, a perfect example of that this week around when we talked to Missouri Valley. I do want to jump in and talk a little bit about some chapter merch. There is some new stuff out there, so I want to at least mention it. If for some reason, this happens every week, I feel, if for some reason I'm missing something, if your chapter's trying to raise money for something and I don't include this, please let me know. Shoot me a message, shoot me a picture of what it is and how much it costs, whatever, so I can get it on for the next episode for sure. I believe that Lakeshore Villains are still selling this. Lakeshore, if you're not, I'm sorry, I'm just giving you a promo for no reason then. But the Lakeshore Villains have this bright blue and gold X Factor patch still out there, I believe. $10 for a very well-made patch. This thing it's almost like bubble stitching. Very cool. Very cool. A very good tactile feel. A tactile feel, I think is a good word description there. And then I want to give a shout out to my chapter here. Why? Because there's only a couple more days of this. This was a pre-order shirt that was done, and we unfortunately, so that we can get the shirts out to people in time for the holiday season, the Halloween season, and in time for people to wear it around Halloween, we wanted to cut off the pre-order early. So the pre-order is only going to October 3rd. So that's only a few more days, 3 more days, and they're gone. So this has the chapter logo on the front in orange. It's on an all black shirt, and it has the logo for the event. The event is called Ezra Crow's Halloween Havoc, and everything Halloween themed here with this event. The proceeds of this shirt are going to the Ronald McDonald House. So sizes up to 3X, starting at extra small down to 3X, are $20. Anything 4X and 5X is $22. You can get these at bvnorthernindiana.bigcartel, bvnorthernindiana.bigcartel.com, only for the next 3 days. This will ensure that the shirts get made and you get them in time to wear them for the Halloween season. Very, very cool stuff. Hope you all like that. Then we're going to just give a quick reminder. This is the last episode I will be mentioning specifically these two patches of the puzzle patch set for the autism collaboration. This is the Indiana patch, available at bvin.bigcartel.com. bvin.bigcartel.com for the Indiana puzzle piece patch for $9 plus shipping. And then also the Chesapeake Bay patch. Now remember, this one's being sold through the Nova site, and it's available at nova.bigcartel.com. nova.bigcartel.com. Don't miss out on these puzzle pieces, guys, because even though the month may pass, there may be a handful still available, but you don't want to be that person that's trying to create this huge puzzle and you end up with 2 or 3 missing. So $9 plus shipping, easy grab. So Chesapeake Bay in Indiana this month. Next month, on the next episode, I will be talking about 2 new patches. So there. Also, the Bearded Villains Pennsylvania East chapter. This just came out. Very cool. Very bold logo on this pink shirt. Very cool stuff. Making Strides of Lehigh Valley Breast Cancer Walk shirts. These are a pre-sale shirt, and it's until October 16th. So you've got basically half a month. You've got 2 weeks, basically, till October 16th to get one of these shirts. They're available at Pennsylvania Villains East. That's with an S. Pennsylvania Villains East.bigcartel.com. $25. Pennsylvania Villains East.bigcartel.com. $25. Grab them. Also, I saw this just come up today. Talking about Halloween time. Nova has a Monster Mash t-shirt pre-sale, and they also have custom woven patches. Very, very cool stuff. The shirt, it looks like it's $20, and it has the Northern Virginia Villains printing on the front, and there's a Frankenstein Nova skull on the back, which ultimately is the patch that's also mentioned for $12. It's a limited pre-sale on the patch as well. So for just, what's that? Let's do the math, folks. $32, you get the patch and the shirt. Pretty cool stuff. Great design here. Great takeoff of their normal chapter logo design. So that is available at bvnova.bigcartel.com. bvnova.bigcartel.com for that one. You can pick up that thing. And then finally, just a shout out for the podcast. I do have still a very few of these left. The 100th anniversary. Some of you guys are 100th episode patches. Some of you who were present at the East Coast meet got to see these in person, and a few of you grabbed one up the first instead of having to wait. Thankfully, I was able to deliver some of them to people that had ordered them, but I had a few people that just kind of forgot in all of the festivities to grab theirs from me. So they're going to have to wait for them to be shipped. But that's okay. So anyway, there's still a handful of these left. 100th episode. They're limited numbered patches. They glow like you wouldn't believe because of the metallic gold paint, or the metallic gold thread. So yes, Larry, you did forget yours. So, but yeah. So that's the merch that I've got so far, guys. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody crazy. But if I did, please let me know and we'll get you in for the next episode. Okay, so I do want to take this quick second also to mention that I finally got a tally. I mentioned this. This is going to be weird for you because I may reference something that I just did for the last episode, which almost all of you have not seen nor heard because you couldn't see it and you obviously didn't even know it existed in some ways. But so I mentioned this yesterday or 2 days ago when I got the tally. And I said it was going to be over $10,000. So it was over $10,000 the money raised at the East Coast meet. And found out today, if anybody was in the East Coast chat, you saw it. If you weren't, you didn't know, $14,000 is what was raised. That's pretty amazing. Yeah, we'll give it hard. We'll give you some applause for that. $14,000 raised at the East Coast meet for Operation Welcome Home. I can only imagine what Operation Welcome Home is going to be able to do with those monies. $14,000, guys, to help kind of set our veterans on a great course for their life. $14,000. Very, very, very cool. And I know that I'm not going to embarrass anybody, but there were a couple of people. I wish I wouldn't feel bad about it, but I would. So I'm not going to embarrass anybody. But there were a couple of people who forked out a lot of money for different things coming through that auction site, through the auction. There was a lot of money exchanged hands. All I know is if I jumped in that deep with some of these, with some of this stuff and laid it down on an auction, my butt would be sleeping outside for the near future. And I wouldn't come back inside for quite a while. So, but it was so awesome to see, and such generosity by our brothers and sisters out there to raise $14,000. Such an amazing thing. So kudos to you guys, to the Bearded Villains West Virginia chapter, to everybody else that had any kind of play in that and making sure that it was such a success. I did spend a good portion of episode 102, which you guys will have to go back and listen to, speaking to what it was like at East Coast meet and how fun it was. So get out there and listen to that as well. All right. So guys, I want to take just a second here because every once in a while, I hate to see this, but every once in a while we need to take a step back and just kind of sit in a moment and pay our respects to family members. I know that our brotherhood is so diverse and so vast. Well over 4,000 of us worldwide. And on any given day, I know that we have family members that are sick or in distress, both. We have brothers who are suffering. We have family members who are suffering. And we have deaths that occur in our families. And where I know it's crazy for me. It would be impossible for me to acknowledge all of them just because of the sheer number of people that we have in the club. But when somebody who has been such a great supporter of this podcast loses somebody in their family, it just seems necessary for me to take a step back and acknowledge that. So to our brother down in Puerto Rico, Mr. Joker Smiles lost his father. And I know he's been posting some really awesome memories online. It's sad, but it's a celebration, really. He's been doing, the posts are very, it brings a tear to your eye, of course. It puts a lump in your throat, of course. But at the same time, some of these pictures and videos that he's sharing are a celebration of a life lived. And I think it's important at times like this that we think of that. It's never easy to lose a parent. Never easy to lose a parent. And, but all I can say is that, Joker, we're with you. We support you. We are by your side. We are standing behind you, and we are here to lift you up. And, you know, prayers to you and your family and to your father in this time. All right, guys, thank you so much for letting me go there for a couple minutes. Now, I want to jump in. Let me just mention this real quick. This next weekend, so a week from this weekend, a week from Saturday, the Missouri Valley chapter is going to be having a beard competition. It's an anniversary party for them. And as I made mention during my interview with him, that with their captain, that it was kind of weird as I look back, because I can remember speaking to him a year ago about this event when it came up the first time. And it was really, if you think back to 2020, it was really at a time in the year when we were still kind of unsure about how events were going to go. And the timing of it was spectacular. It was so perfect because there wasn't much opening up, but yet over in St. Louis, the Missouri Valley Boys opened up a great competition and had a great time. And it was attended by brothers who were thirsty like crazy for brotherhood time. Just like when we had in Miami, just like we just had at the East Coast meet. It was the first meet for some. And so I'm really hoping that we can get our brothers all around the Midwest, especially, if not some of you stragglers that are on the coasts, to come down, or even up north, to come down and help the brothers out in St. Louis for their anniversary party. It's kind of a neat timing because it's one of the few events that we have, and I mentioned that it's during the daytime hours. And so it gives those of you who need to travel, it gives you time to travel in the morning, get there, have the event, travel home, or stay the night if you want to. So lots of different options. But I want to share my interview with you talking about the Missouri Valley chapter's beard competition, and just kind of a look back and a look forward at what these guys are going to do. My guest this week is the captain of the Missouri Valley Bearded Villain chapter. They've got an event coming up in just over a week, but we're giving you a preview about it. We're going to talk a little bit about it, what the guys in the Missouri Valley chapter have been up to in this last year, because if you are debating it at all, if you have some free time, if you haven't scheduled it yet, you need to find a way to get there October 8th and 9th. We're going to talk a little bit about that in a few minutes. But help me welcome Mr. Miller from Missouri Valley. How you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic, man. It's been a bit since we've spoken, and I know it's unfortunate because the timing of your event is I mean, I can't ask you to change it because it's an anniversary event, but it's like it always rolls right around the time that I have two of my kids' birthdays a week apart. And so it's like sandwiched in that area where we try to do family birthdays and everything else. So until the time is that I'm allowed to actually schedule time away that weekend, it's I may not be able to be there for it.
Yeah, we actually pushed our event back a little bit. Our actual anniversary was on the 26th, but the East Coast event was happening at that time, and I think there was another event happening, so we decided to push it to the beginning of October so we didn't try to clash with any other events going on. So it seems like the fall is real busy for meets and beard competitions.
It is. But the cool thing about it is that I've noticed, I mean, we want to try to go to all of them, but there's so many of them now that you can kind of pick and choose. If you haven't been to this one, you can go to this one. Or if it doesn't matter where you are in the country, or in some cases of the world, even though some places are still kind of locked down as far as what they're allowing for people. But here in the States, you can kind of take your pick, and wherever you're closest to, you can find one. It seems like these last several weeks of the year, there's a whole bunch of them. But we'll get into that in just a minute. What have you guys been up to this last year in Missouri Valley, man?
Oh man, it hasn't been a whole lot. We've been really trying to focus on the event because last year's turned out incredible. We weren't sure if we were going to have it because of the pandemic, but a lot of the other events had been canceled because of it. So a lot of people that already planned to travel were like, "Oh, Missouri's having their event. Let's go down there." So I think we ended up having a mega event. There was 12 different chapters
Oh, wow.
showed up. Yeah, it was a phenomenal event. So this year we've just kind of been focusing on that. It's kind of been hard to do events because a lot of people weren't sure, what was going to happen with this next year. COVID kind of seemed like it went away, and then it's now starting to come back. But I think after this, we're going to start focusing on next year and doing some more events. We were going to work with Warrior Battalion and try to get a ruck run for beginning of summer next year.
Wow. Wow. Those are not for the faint of heart. I say that as a rather large fellow myself. So I could be there taking pictures of you at the beginning and at the end and say congratulations and maybe hand over some water and some juice to you guys. But then again, hey, if you're going to do it in the summer months, maybe I have time between now and then to get my fat ass in shape a little bit so I could maybe
we'll put it out way in advance, make sure I can get in shape for it as well.
Well, as we can tell, looking at our two profile pictures here on the screen right now, one of us fills up the picture quite a bit more, and I'm not zoomed in. So,
well, it's a good thing you only have me from the top up, so this waist down is a little bit iffy.
Well, I know you. I remember hearing last year, and I obviously I don't know the specifics and numbers like you did from the success that it was last year, but I remember hearing that at the time. I remember being very surprised because it was with the success that it was, not because I was surprised that you guys had a successful event, but it seemed like because it was just right at the cusp of the summer fall period when it was one of the first kind of should we try events or not, if I remember correctly, that time of year. And so I remember seeing for the number of people that attended it and the way that you guys were able to finish it off, I was really shocked and I thought it was a really cool event. Can you just take us back a little bit to just remind everybody last year's event, how that ended up for you guys?
Yeah, I'd have to say, like, we ended up having to change venues at one point. We scheduled it far enough in advance, and it was, at least in Missouri, it was getting around to that point where venues were starting to open up, but then again, weren't really sure. So there was restrictions on opening up. So we were really thankful that we were able to have that event. But yeah, like I said, we had 12 different chapters show up. It was more successful than I thought it was going to be for one of the first events that our chapter has planned and executed. So it was really nice. It was for the Neested Foundation, who works with active and retired military, going on hunting and fishing trips. So we were able to raise a little over $3,000 for them, which was way more than they expected, kind of more than we expected. And it was enough to take, I think it was 2 veterans on a week-long trip.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it, and this is one of those things that I really enjoy about my opportunity to interview guys from all over the country for the podcast is that I'm learning so much about all of these different veterans charities or some of the smaller charities that are out there that may go under the radar. And it's because of all of our guys around the world that say, hey, there's this hometown type of a thing over here, and they're doing some really cool stuff. And because I get to talk about it, I learn about it, and there's so many neat little, small charity things that we say small, but the amount of impact that they can have on people is so cool to see. And of course, we love anytime our brothers are doing stuff with either veterans or children. But so that's awesome to see that it was a really good success for that. But now, coming in again this year after the success and the surprise success of last year, which let's take a second to acknowledge that, because it's always nice when it exceeds our expectations, but it's even better when it exceeds the expectations of who are supposed to be getting the proceeds. that's when you really like it. You're like, hey, that's a pretty nice deal. But talk to me for a second about now preparations for this thing this year. Are you kind of crossing your fingers going, okay, now we've kind of set a bar. That's the problem. You set a bar and now you're like, now I've got to kind of live up to that.
Yeah, I kind of managed my expectations for this year. We knew that last year, was kind of a unique instance where a lot of people had planned to travel, and then they decided to come visit us instead, while their other events had been canceled. So I kind of managed my expectations this year. I don't think it'll be quite as big, but I hope we'll still have a good turnout.
Well, now come on. No, now there's underselling it, and then there's underselling it. Well, I figure we might have like 15 people here. We'll be happy with that. But no, I mean, it actually kind of fits into this really nice, this nice time frame. I think by looking at the calendar, because one of the other cool benefits of what I get to do is I get to read through the calendar of events that I create, and you can see like there's a week or two off, and now there's nothing this weekend, I don't think, going on really in this area, at least of the country. So anybody that went to the East Coast meet can have a weekend off, family time, and there's no excuses. St. Louis is easy to get to, guys, unless you have two kids that have birthdays the same weekend like I do. But so yeah, get there. But then there's it's not like you have to pick and choose, because if you're one of those that works Monday through Friday, come over St. Louis, and then we have another couple weeks before we have another event. Then we have another couple weeks before, so you can jump around and hit all these events. It's easy, guys. Really. Let's just start making people feel bad for missing them, right?
There you go. We'll guilt trip them into coming and seeing each other.
Yeah. Yeah. So, if you can kind of lead us through a little bit, we know it's October 8th and 9th. If you can give us a little bit of details, do you have any surprises in store? I always ask people that because I tried really hard. I knew there were some surprises coming out for the East Coast meet, and they wouldn't even tell me. And I was like, come on, guys. You won't even tell me what the surprises are. Even off air, they wouldn't tell me. But I don't know if you have any surprises in store for everybody that's going to be showing up. But can you kind of run us through the event calendar for the weekend if you have?
Sure. So Friday night, we're starting off with our meet and greet. It's going to be at Grand Cru in Soulard. It is a nice cigar lounge that we have in town, and it's going to be drinks are included. It's kind of a BYOB cigar lounge because of the rules of St. Louis and smoking indoors and whatnot. So we'll have drinks included for that event. We get to hang out and see everybody. Saturday afternoon, we have our event. So at noon at Tin Roof in St. Louis, we're going to start registration, and 1 o'clock we're going to start the event, and from 1 to 5 we'll have our event. This year we are donating our proceeds to the Friends of Kids with Cancer Foundation, which is a really nice foundation that we searched and found. It is local to St. Louis, like you had mentioned, to find those smaller charities that do things for a community. And this one is really great. I happened to meet someone who helped out with some of the foundation and their fundraisers before. And they just kind of told me that not only does it work with the kids that are going through cancer and treatments, but it also helps out the families with whatever they need. And this person told me a story of how they were going to, the treatments for their kid, and their car broke down and they weren't sure what they were going to do. And so they called the foundation. The foundation told them, don't worry about it. Get it to this repair shop and we'll take care of it. And they took care of the expenses to fix their cars, to get the kids the treatment. And so they didn't have to worry about it. And so it's small, stories like that make you really feel good about being able to help a foundation that goes above and beyond sometimes. And all the proceeds, stay here in St. Louis. So it really helps out our community, which is one thing we really liked about it.
Wow. That's a cool little feature about that organization. I mean, the fact that they actually, you hear about some of these kind of inclusive organizations where they kind of go above and beyond. I know like the Ronald McDonald House, one that we're actively involved in for our event later this year. They do stuff with not only the kids that are involved in the sickness, but the families as well. But to do something like that story like you're talking about, wow, it's you need the family members to be able to get where they get, and the fact that they were able to just take care of car repairs for somebody, very cool stuff. Very cool. How did you guys find them? Did you just run across them when you were looking for something worthwhile to aim for?
Yeah, we're just kind of researching local nonprofit charities in the St. Louis area. And we came across this one and kind of looked into it a little bit, and then reached out to talk to them, and was really wanting to help them out and be a part of what they do. And they have a lot of great foundation, or a lot of great events throughout the year. And today they were actually having an event, and it was an art gallery auction. So the kids of the foundation would create art, and then it goes off for auction, and then that proceeds go back to the foundation.
Oh, now how cool is that?
That is really cool.
That is awesome. The kids themselves actually make the kids that are actually a part of the organization. That's just, dang, if that doesn't warm your heart, man.
I know,
mean,
right?
Is that I'm just curious. I mean, is that still like, is it like an all day thing, or did it just do you have any idea of if it's still going on, or?
It should be going on. I believe it was from 8 to 5. And on their Instagram page, Friends of Kids, they should have a link in their bio to the event.
Okay. That would be something that would be really cool for, for people that, gosh, I wish we could have talked like a week ago, because we could have like really rallied around that and said, hey, we're going to get villains from all over maybe to do call-in bids if they would let us do that. And then they could maybe bring the item to your event to have them sign it or something fun like that. But something to think about for the future. But yeah, that's so cool, man. I can't even imagine how cool that would be for a kid to see their picture up on a wall, or know that somebody bought their picture.
Right.
Very, very cool, man. But above and beyond what your normal kids on the refrigerator put on their stuff. my youngest daughter, she scribbles something on 3 lines of paper, and okay, it goes on the fridge. Well, we got to take and pick where we can put those. But man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I'm can you talk for a second? I know we have some, kind of putting you on the spot a little bit here, but for those that know that are coming for this event, which, by the way, kind of a unique thing, and I remember thinking this last year, and it's neat. I think it's a neat take on the beard comp thing. You guys actually position yours so that it's a daytime event.
Yes.
Was that a specific thought process to do that because due to venue, time, space, or because then after the event you can just chill out and have a good night?
I think that was more of the idea, to have it, in the afternoon, kind of work off the hours of the business as well, to, pull people in, try to get more involvement from, people that may just be passing by, but then have that time afterwards to hang out and, have fun and enjoy, everything afterwards.
Yeah. I remember thinking that was a last year when I first heard about it. I thought, well, that's because as I started rolling through the calendar of events, I was like, oh, it's from 1 to 5. That's different. But very cool. I mean, it does. It opens up your whole day. It gives you something to do, because so often, and this is one of those things that you see at like the East Coast meet or even other event weekends, you do your meet and greet on Friday night usually, and then you try and wake up and recover from your meet and greet night. And then there's this big long part of your day where you don't know what to do. You're looking for breakfast at 1 p.m. and then you go to your event at 5 o'clock. So that's kind of cool that you have that, and then guys can do whatever they want to after the fact. But can you give us, like I said, I'm kind of putting you on the spot a little bit. Do you have the list of judges? Because some people that show up, unless you want to keep that quiet for when the people show up, some people might want to know who's going to be the people judging them when they show up.
Right. I'm not worried about it. We have a couple mystery judges.
Okay, cool.
But so we do have Popeye coming in from Indiana, and Nick is coming in from North Texas.
Oh, awesome.
And we have a local barber who is going to participate in the judging as well. And then our mystery judges will be 2 people from the foundation that are going to come in and be judges as well, so they can participate.
Very cool. Oh, that kind of gives them a little bit of ownership on the event. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we thought it'd be fun to have some people from the foundation participate. Maybe if they're not, joining in the beard competition side, but at least have them as some judges would be pretty fun.
Yeah, very cool. All right. So only because I know Popeye so well, everybody just needs to give him hell, and make sure that when you go over to him, give him a hard time when he's judging you, and see where that takes you. But call him all sorts of names. It's a good time. I want to see how many people do that for me. All right. Well, do you have any last words of any kind of other surprises or anything you got going on, or if you want to talk about possibly any future plans that you guys have for the chapter?
No more surprises. Just to say that looking forward to have everybody who can make it out. Looking forward to seeing everyone again. I haven't been able to make it out to a lot of beer competitions or travel around this year, but it'd be nice to, see all the faces that are able to come in town. As for next year, we're still working on, growing as a chapter. Since last year, we have had 7 new members join us, which has been great. And so we're just going to try to keep on growing and, help as many causes as we can. Like I said, we're going to try to do the ruck run for Warrior Battalion. And I know that the Louisville chapter is getting ready to do their beer competition November 6th, I believe, the weekend of the 6th. And I believe that's for the Warrior Battalion as well.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, this is not to be missed, guys. We're giving you a whole week here to plan in advance. And if nothing else, obviously you're going to be there to help contribute and help out with this charity. But if you were paying attention to what he said about the meet and greet, it sounded an awful lot like he said drinks will be provided, but it's also BYOB in a cigar lounge. Now, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool environment there. So that makes me even more jealous about the fact that I can't make it there. But yeah, careful what you wish for, though, because when you start talking about drinks will be provided, that could be a pretty hefty tab there.
Right. We're not going to support anybody's habit, but we'll have some free drinks for everyone. And I did think of one surprise, not really a surprise. We had posted it on our Facebook event. But we do have an artist coming in from from Columbia, Missouri, who was artist of the year for Columbia. And for the silent auction, it will be a custom painting by her for the winner of whatever they want. So if they wanted to do a portrait or the custom club logo, she will be there to paint that.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Okay, so it's like a totally customized item that they can get. If they win it, they get to pick whatever it is they want.
Yep.
That's pretty much like the best kind of prize you could get, right? I mean, you write your own ticket with it. That's pretty cool. All right. So no excuses, guys. No excuses. You got a week out. It's going to be a good time. It's in St. Louis. You can't beat that, guys. It's beer, it's stuff, it's cigars, it's brothers, and charity, man. Good times. And if you're willing to bid up enough to get the fun prize, you can get a painting of whatever you want. Pretty cool.
Yeah, so we'll have a couple other nice silent auction items, and we're doing the 50-50 raffle as well, and doing everything we can to help support the Kids of Friends with Cancer Foundation.
Yeah, that's such a cool thing, man. I'm going to also, when I do the live stream, I'll make sure I send out the actual address so anybody wants to go online and check them out. Friends of Kids with Cancer, check out a little bit more about what they're all about. But man, thanks so much for chatting with me for a few minutes about this. I hope we can maybe break some records from what you had last year.
That would be nice. I appreciate it. And congrats to you. You just had your 100th episode.
Yeah. This is episode 103. It's been kind of a weird transition the last 3 weeks just because of trying to find time to fit in these last 3 episodes because I've changed the schedule of it a little bit and everything else. But yeah, 100 episodes is a good time.
That's awesome.
Thank you. You're 103 now. I can't remember which episode you were back on before, but you are in the rare air of people who have been on more than once now. So
Nice.
there you go. Not that
I'll
it's
be
going to
waiting
do
for my
anything
free
for you.
T-shirt.
Yeah, I was going to say, not that it's going to do anything for you in the real world, but you can claim it. You can claim it anyway. So, man, thanks so much for being here with me, and best of luck this weekend. I look forward to hearing how things go after the weekend's over.
All right, thank you.
Next weekend. All right, take care.
You too.
All right, guys. Yeah. So, as I mentioned there in the interview, the website, and I urge you guys, those of you still listening at this point, to check it out, is www.friendsofkids.com. Friendsofkids.com. And he and I talked off air after the interview was done, because there was something that I thought was really cool. And I was sad that I didn't actually learn about it. And the timing of it, with the timing of this live stream, was not good. Was really not good. But otherwise, it would have been really cool to promote. But apparently, over on that website, friendsofkids.com, they actually had a live auction going on this evening, and it ended like 20 minutes ago. But there was a live auction where you could purchase paintings done by the kids there at that are part of Friends of Kids with Cancer. So I went out online and looked this afternoon at some of the paintings, and you can just tell that they're putting their heart into it.